Most women don't realize the most powerful moment isn't during the act. It's right after it ends. And if you miss it, you miss your chance to create a connection he'll never forget. Talking about the number one move men secretly crave after oral, something that bonds him to you in ways he won't even understand, but will feel every time he thinks about you. And really, here's the truth. After that peak moment, something shifts. His guard drops, his breathing slows, his mind is clear, his heart is open. This is your golden window. And what most women do? They roll away, fix their hair, grab their phone, or disappear to the bathroom. But the women who own this moment, they stay, they lean in, they let the silence speak. That lingering touch on his chest, that lazy smile, that gentle hand tracing his arm. It's not about what you say, it's about how you hold him in that pause. In those seconds, you're telling him you're safe, you matter. You're not just an act I'm ticking off a list. That feeling, it's addictive. If you want to be unforgettable, don't rush away after the climax. Stay in that space. Let him feel your presence longer than he expected. Because that's when you stop being a moment and start becoming a memory. Let's talk about something almost nobody brings up, but every woman has secretly thought about at some point. What exactly does a man want right after you go down on him? You've just given him one of the most personal and intimate experiences he could imagine. You were open, confident, giving, and maybe even a little daring. But now it's over. He's lying there, catching his breath. You're sitting there unsure what happens next. You can feel that moment hanging in the air. For some it's a little awkward, for others it's silent, and for many it's simply confusing. Here's the thing most women don't realize. Right after oral can be one of the most emotionally sensitive moments for a man. Not because of guilt or embarrassment, but because it stirs feelings he doesn't always know how to show. Most men will never say it out loud, but in that moment they often want something more. Something that tells them this wasn't just a physical act, it was a real connection. These little moments after can turn something physical into something unforgettable, not just for his body, but for his emotions. They make him feel wanted, respected, desired, and pulled toward you in a way he might not even understand. Many women see that moment as the end of the experience. They think, it's done, I've finished, time to move on. But here's what's true. When it's over and the rush is fading, when he's lying there, catching his breath, that's when he's at his most open. His guard is down, his body is sensitive, and for a few seconds, he isn't trying to impress you or hide behind any walls. He's simply there, relaxed, unguarded, and completely in the moment. What you choose to do right then can change everything. Men secretly want you to stay in that moment a little longer, not to jump up and walk away, not to rush to the bathroom, not to wipe your mouth like you were finishing a chore, and not to treat it like the scene is over. What really makes a man melt, what creates that magnetic pull he can't quite explain, is when you pause and stay close, when you gently rest your head on his thigh, when you glance up at him with a satisfied, playful smile, when you touch his stomach softly, like you're still savoring the connection. That's the difference. That tells him, without saying a word, I enjoyed this too. I was here with you completely. For a man, that kind of presence and lingering closeness says more than words ever could. It tells him you're comfortable with your own sexuality, that you're not embarrassed about giving him pleasure, and that you weren't doing it because you wanted something back, you were simply in the moment. That kind of quiet feminine confidence is incredibly attractive. It doesn't matter how many women he's been with, most don't linger. Most don't stay in the afterglow. They do the act, but not the intimacy that follows. That's why, when you do, you stand out. You become unforgettable, because you understand that the power isn't just in the act, it's in how you hold the space afterward. Even just 5 extra seconds of holding eye contact, a soft smile, or running your fingers gently along his side can create a closeness he won't stop thinking about. He'll replay it hours later, days later, and crave it again, not only because of how good it felt, but because of how seen, appreciated, and desired you made him feel in that quiet moment. Men rarely ask for this, because they're not taught, but when they experience it, they know instantly. It's rare, and they know you are rare. So next time you find yourself in that situation, don't treat it like the end, treat it like a beginning. Let the silence speak, let it mean something. In those few seconds, without speaking, you can make him feel like a king. This isn't about acting submissive or feeding his ego endlessly. It's about the way you carry yourself, the calmness in your movements, the softness in your hands, the steady, warm look in your eyes. That's what stays with him. Many women feel they need to fill the moment with words like, "That was fun," or "Did you enjoy it?" But most men don't need commentary right then. They need your presence. They need to feel you're confident in what just happened, that you're not second-guessing yourself, and that you already know he enjoyed it. That assurance turns him on even more. When you lean in to kiss his chest, trace a line along his collarbone, or simply rest your hand on his stomach while looking into his eyes, you're grounding him in the present. You're telling him without speaking, "I see you, I just gave to you, and I'm still here with you." That builds a trust and connection that lingers far longer than the physical sensations. The truth is, most men aren't used to being treated with that kind of softness and care. They're often expected to be strong, emotionless, and in control. But when you meet him in that unguarded state, right after he's let go of control, and respond with warmth and reassurance, it reaches him in a way nothing else does. You're not just making him feel wanted, you're making him feel safe. You're giving him a kind of deep validation that no amount of praise or performance can replace. It doesn't require grand gestures. Sometimes it's simply the way you touch his arm, the way you smile without breaking eye contact, or the way you position yourself next to him like you belong there. No pressure, no rush, no forced conversation, your presence and peace. And the amazing thing is, he probably won't even be able to explain why he can't stop thinking about you. Why your face appears in his mind randomly during the day. Why no other woman's energy feels quite like yours. It's because you gave him something beyond the physical. You gave him that rare, subtle, and unforgettable energy. A kind of quiet intimacy that stays in his mind and his body long after the moment has passed. That's what makes him crave you. Not just what you did, but the way you made him feel afterward. So next time you're in that moment, don't overthink it. Just soften, just be present. Let your energy tell him all the things he doesn't even know how to ask for. Because when you do that, you're not just blowing his mind, you're touching his sense of masculinity in a way that leaves a mark he won't forget. There's something incredibly powerful about a kiss that comes when he's not expecting it, especially right after you've gone down on him. For many women, there's hesitation. Maybe it feels strange. Maybe you assume he wouldn't want it. Or maybe you've been taught that kissing right after is somehow too much or not the norm. But here's the truth. A slow, confident kiss after that kind of intimacy doesn't just bend the rules, it rewrites them completely. Most men don't see that kiss coming. They expect space, a pause, a shift in energy between what just happened and whatever comes next. But when you lean in without hesitation and kiss him softly, as if you're savoring the afterglow of your own power, it sends a message. You're not embarrassed, you're not timid, you're not emotionally detached from what happened. You're so comfortable in your own skin, so at ease with your sensuality, that you can move from wild to gentle without missing a beat. That kind of kiss says more than any sentence could. It says you're still connected. It says it wasn't mechanical. It says you enjoyed every moment, and you're still enjoying being close to him. And for a man, that kiss lands in a way he can't fully put into words, because it's more than just affection. It's validation, it's closeness, it's the kind of feminine energy that pulls him back in, even after the peak has passed. There's something hypnotic about that moment, when your lips meet his, slowly, with intention, after the intensity has faded. It turns tension into tenderness. It makes his heart open again. His mind, still floating, suddenly focuses on you, not just as someone who gave him pleasure, but as someone who's still there, physically and emotionally. It doesn't have to be long, just a few seconds. A gentle kiss, maybe with your hand on his cheek or resting over his heart, is enough to shift the entire mood. It makes him feel desired, chosen, important, and those feelings last. He might never say it out loud, but inside something changes. He'll see you differently. He'll remember that kiss long after the details of the night fade, because that's not something every woman does. That's something a woman who owns her power does. A woman who's not afraid of closeness and knows how to turn a physical act into an emotional memory. Though next time you're lying beside him after the heat has passed, don't pull away. Move closer. Catch him off guard. Kiss him slowly, confidently, because that kiss might be the thing that makes him crave you even more. Right after you've taken him to that edge, and he's lying there trying to process what just happened, most women rush to fill the silence. They do it with gentle but safe questions like, "Did you like that?" Or "Was that okay?" While there's nothing wrong with being sweet or looking for connection, those kinds of questions come from a place of needing reassurance. They're polite, but they're forgettable. What sticks in a man's mind, what can make him feel a spark again before he's even fully recovered, is when you flip the moment and tease instead of please. Think about it. He's just had a release, he's relaxed, his guard is down, and instead of asking for validation or acting shy, you lean in and say something playful like, "That was just a warm-up," or "I wasn't even trying yet." Maybe something bold like, "Now you owe me and I charge interest." Instantly, the mood shifts. You've pulled him right back into your orbit, not with touch this time, but with words. That's playful power. It's you showing you're still in control of the energy and fully aware of the effect you have on him. Most women don't go there, they withdraw. But the woman who can smile after giving pleasure, toss a sly remark over her shoulder, or whisper something cheeky in his ear while curling up next to him, that woman becomes unforgettable. He'll lie there thinking, "Wait, what did she just say?" And while his body is trying to rest, his mind is racing again. You've taken a moment of calm and turned it into fresh curiosity. You've made him wonder what else you're capable of. That little teasing line becomes a loop in his head that he keeps replaying. And the beauty of it, you didn't need to take off anything else. You didn't need to do anything graphic. You used your voice, your timing, and your energy. That's the part that stays with him. It's a type of flirting that leaves a door open instead of closing the night. You're not ending the story, you're planting the seed for the next chapter. A teasing comment at the right moment shifts you from being just the woman who pleased him into the woman he can't stop wanting more of. So next time you're in that soft post-intimate moment, skip the lines that look for praise. Let the playful side of you lead. Drop something that makes him grin, that makes him raise an eyebrow, that hints the night isn't over. Because when you tease instead of just please, you don't only leave an impression, you create a craving. Here's the truth most women overlook. Those minutes right after you've given a man pleasure can be more revealing and relationship shaping than the act itself. Unfortunately, many rush through them. They grab a tissue, head to the bathroom, or start nervously cleaning up. Why? Because they've been taught the connection peaked and it's time to wrap things up. But that short, delicate window after is not the end. It's the start of something deeper. If you know how to handle it, it can make a man fall for you harder than anything purely physical ever could. The truth is, most men aren't used to feeling emotionally held in that tender space right after release. In that moment, their guard comes down, their thoughts slow, their heart feels more open. And in that soft, vulnerable place, if you stay, if you linger, if you hold the space instead of rushing away, it sends a message louder than any words could. It says, "I'm not here just for the act. I'm here for you." And staying doesn't mean smothering him or forcing a deep conversation. It's about your energy. It's about laying there with your head resting on his chest, letting your hand rest on his skin a little longer, breathing in rhythm with him, and being at ease in the silence. It's showing him you're still there fully, not looking for the exit or trying to move on too quickly. That kind of calm, magnetic stillness is so rare that it leaves an impression he'll never forget. Men may never say it out loud, often they don't even realize it consciously, but they feel it deeply. They notice when a woman is secure enough to stay in that post-intimate space. They notice when she doesn't treat the moment like a transaction, when she doesn't spring up or start adjusting her hair or reaching for her clothes as if trying to erase what just happened. Because that behavior often signals emotional distance or discomfort. But when you're able to simply stay, no rush, no panic, no shame, that's when he melts into your energy. And here's the hidden truth. When a man truly relaxes into a woman's energy after being physically fulfilled, that's when emotional bonding really happens. That's when oxytocin, the bonding hormone, surges through him. That's when his body and mind start associating you with peace, safety, and connection. You don't have to say a thing. You don't need to perform again. You just need to be still, and your stillness becomes a statement more powerful than any words. Of course, comfort and hygiene are important, and if something needs to be taken care of, that's completely natural. But this is about timing. Don't be quick to leave his arms or change your appearance. Don't automatically jump into caretaker mode or bring the whole scene to an end. That urge to cover up or tidy yourself often comes from feeling awkward, like you need to make yourself presentable again. But here's the truth. He's just seen you at your most natural, unfiltered, and magnetic. You don't need to fix anything. Let the moment breathe. Those slow, lingering minutes where you stay close, skin to skin, breath to breath, are what he will keep in his memory long after the night is over. Long after he's back in his everyday life, the image of you calm, confident, and wrapped against him without a single care will replay in his mind. That's the memory he'll miss when you're not there. So don't take that away from either of you. Stay. Let him feel not just your touch, but your full presence. Because the women who know how to linger instead of rushing away are the ones who don't just satisfy, they leave a lasting mark. Let's be honest, what you do after you go down on a man can often make a deeper emotional imprint than the act itself. That's where the emotional tone gets sealed. It's no longer just about the physical, it's about connection. That lingering touch, that quiet smile, that little whispered remark, that playful or confident energy, all of it is what takes you from someone who did something sexy to someone who left him stunned, replaying the memory for days, maybe weeks. Because here's the truth. For most men, physical pleasure isn't hard to find, but emotional depth wrapped inside sensuality, that's rare. That's the thing that makes a woman unforgettable. When you slow down and know how to handle that after moment, you're not just tending to his body, you're leaving your mark on his mind and heart. And the surprising part? Most women never do this. Most rush away thinking the best part is over. They completely miss that golden window. But now you know the moves that pull him in closer instead of letting the moment fade. You know how to make him feel more than just pleased. You can make him feel chosen. You can create emotional heat, not just sexual heat. And that's where real attraction lives. So don't underestimate the power of the after. If you master that space, he won't just crave what you did, he'll crave how you made him feel. He'll want the whole experience again and again. Not just the pleasure, but the closeness, the emotional pull, the sense that, with you, he can truly let go. That's the part that keeps him hooked. You can use this moment to let your body speak for you. It's not about the words anymore, it's about the way you respond, the way you lean in, the way you breathe. Sometimes a soft laugh or a slow exhale says more than any sentence could. You don't need to overthink how you look or what you should say, just focus on the feeling. When you're completely present, every touch feels richer, every second stretches out longer. You might even surprise yourself by how much you're enjoying letting go of control. As the pace shifts, you might notice your mind trying to jump ahead, wondering what's next or what you should do. That's when you gently bring yourself back to now. Keep your thoughts anchored in the moment. Feel the textures, hear the subtle sounds, sense the rhythm between you both. This is the kind of connection that's rare because it's built on presence, not performance. He's not just looking for the act, he's looking for the energy you bring into it, the kind that makes him feel drawn closer without even realizing why. In this state, you're both communicating in a way that doesn't need translation. You can tell when he's fully tuned into you, and he can feel when you're letting yourself be truly open. That's when trust grows, not through big promises, but through these small, unspoken exchanges. When you give yourself permission to explore like this, you're also showing him that you're confident enough to enjoy the moment without worrying about perfection. And that confidence, it's magnetic. It makes him want more, not because you're trying to impress him, but because you're being real. Even after it's over, the memory stays with him, the little details, the way your hand brushed his, the warmth of your skin, the quick smile you gave, become things he replays in his mind. Those are the moments that build a craving, that make him think of you when you're not around. And when you leave him with that feeling, he's not just satisfied, he's hooked. The next time you find yourself in that space after intimacy, remember that what you do then can speak louder than anything before. It's easy to think the main part is over, but really, the moments after are where the real magic happens. Those quiet seconds where you stay close, where you breathe together, where you let your hands explore gently without rush. Those moments build a connection deeper than words. You don't have to say anything. Sometimes silence can be the most powerful language. When you simply stay there with him, it says you value him, that you appreciate the experience you shared, and that you want to keep that feeling alive just a little longer. That kind of presence makes a man feel safe and seen in a way few women know how to offer. It's not about fixing or changing anything. It's about accepting and celebrating what just happened. If you want to deepen the bond even more, let your touch become a way of communicating without words. Trace his skin softly, let your fingers wander gently, or rest your hand on his heart. These small gestures say, "I'm here, I'm with you." They remind him that he's more than just a body to be pleased. They remind him that he's a person you want to be close to, not just physically, but emotionally. This kind of emotional closeness after intimacy is like a secret language between you two. It creates a safe space where vulnerability is welcomed and connection grows stronger. It tells him that with you he can relax fully, without masks or pretenses. And when a man feels that kind of safety, he starts to open up more, trust more, and want to come back again and again. So don't rush. Don't pull away too soon. Let the moment breathe, because this is where true intimacy lives, not just in the act itself, but in the quiet, lingering space that follows. That's the moment where hearts meet, where real desire takes root, and where unforgettable memories are made.